The story of Noah's Ark and the Great Flood is widely known among religious communities because it appears in sacred texts across the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. This raises three serious questions. First, where did this story originally come from? Second, how did it enter the Abrahamic religious tradition? And third, is a flood that covered the entire earth even possible according to modern science? In this video, we examine the Great Flood from a secular, historical, and scientific perspective, beginning with the oldest known flood narrative, tracing its adoption into religious traditions, and concluding with what geology and biology actually tell us. Long before Judaism, Christianity, or Islam existed, the people of Mesopotamia were already telling flood stories. One of the oldest is the Epic of Atrahasis, written in Akkadian around the 18th century BC. In this story, humans are created by the gods to do labor. Their population grows too large and too noisy. The god Enlil decides humanity must be destroyed. Plagues and famine fail. Finally, a massive flood is unleashed. But one god, Enki, warns a wise man named Atrahasis, telling him to build a large boat to survive the catastrophe. This is not a moral story yet. Humans are not punished for sin. They are eliminated because gods are inconvenient. That detail matters. Centuries later, the same flood narrative appears again. This time came from the other story, Epic of Gilgamesh. The survivor is now named Utnapishtim, but the structure is nearly identical. Divine warning, a massive boat, preservation of life, a flood that wipes out humanity. By this point, the flood story is already a classic, copied and taught in scribal schools across Mesopotamia. This means the story was widely known long before the Israelites wrote their sacred texts. The key historical moment comes in the 6th century BCE, after the destruction of Jerusalem. The Judean elite are exiled to Babylon. This is crucial. Babylon was the intellectual center of the ancient world. Flood myths were everywhere. Judean scribes were exposed to Mesopotamian literature directly. Modern historians argue that during this period, many biblical texts were edited, compiled, or finalized. Older traditions were reshaped under new conditions. This is where adaptation happens. Christianity inherits the story directly through the Hebrew Bible. Islam later retells it again. Noah becomes a prophet. Technical details are minimized. The emphasis shifts to preaching, rejection, and perseverance. Across all three traditions, the flood narrative survives because it answers a deep human question. Why does the world feel fragile? And why do moral failures seem to invite disaster? Now, we shift domains from theology to science. According to modern geology, physics, and biology, a flood that covered the entire Earth, including mountains, is virtually impossible. Why? There is not enough water on Earth. Melting all ice caps would not submerge continents. No global sediment layer exists. Fossils are ordered, not mixed. Ecosystems could not recover that fast. If such a flood had happened, it would leave unmistakable global evidence. We don't see it. So why does the story exist everywhere? Because regional megafloods absolutely did happen. Mesopotamia, river valleys, and post-ice age coastlines were extremely vulnerable to catastrophic flooding. For ancient people, their world was local. A regional flood felt like total destruction. In academic terms, global in narrative, local in event. Trauma becomes myth. Myth becomes meaning.